Welcome to our first episode where we explore the journey of inspiring minds in healthcare, research, and education. Today's guest is someone who has worn many hats, scientist, a scholar, and now an educator who's changing lives in and out of the classroom. Dr. Tasha Barr has contributed to and edited more than 34 research articles, made her mark in healthcare and biomedical science, and now pours her passion into guiding students from her academic roots at UC Davis to where she is now today. Her story is one of evolution, purpose, and persistence. We're excited to dive into her experiences, both in the lab and in life, and hear what she has learned along the way. So let's get started. Dr. Tasha Barr, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. What a wonderful introduction. Can you send that to me one day? I love
Uh,
that.
yes, I'll send that over. Do you want to introduce us with how you got interested into the healthcare industry?
I think I've always gravitated towards the sciences, even as a young kid. I'm not sure if you're familiar with MESA, but MESA is a program, stands for Math, Engineering, Science, and Achievement. My elementary school had a MESA program. And so when I was like in third grade, I kind of joined this MESA program. It's like a kind of a science club. And yeah, I've always really just been involved in any kind of STEM related program or activity at my school, even since elementary school. My high school actually had a biotech academy, so I was enrolled in that for a while. And I never really been interested in the arts side.
Gotcha.
I'm much more of a scientist.
Yeah,
Um, so that's my joke. I don't do art, so I'm a scientist. But the more in when I was younger, I thought I was going to be a nurse. So when I went into college, I was like, wasn't exposed to a lot of career opportunities in the STEM field, but I liked science. And I didn't want to get the full on responsibility of being the doctor, but I liked the idea of being in the medical field. So I started in the nursing field, but after taking all my prerequisites, learning about different career opportunities within the medical field, I much more gravitated towards being a research scientist. And that was with the inspiration that I can help more people if I discovered like a drug or something. If
right.
I was diagnosing a patient, I could only see the new patients like every 15 minutes at a time. And as a research scientist, I can, potentially create a drug that can be diagnosed for many future generations to come, not just the patients that I see. So I thought I could help more people and more generations by being a research scientist rather than a physician.
Gotcha. So you were in the overall more gravitated towards helping out in the bigger picture rather than just, patient directed.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
always kind of medically related or biomedically related to, improve society and as far as infectious diseases or healthcare related. Yeah.
gotcha. That's amazing. That's
Always
awesome.
been interesting. Thank you.
I think that's one thing that I resonate a lot with. I mean, my grandma, she was a nurse when she was in Mexico, and she would always like if we ever had like an injury or something, like she was the first person that we'd go to. My mom as well. Um, it's honestly like very inspiring to just have like people that you know, right?
Mhm.
And people who can like guide you and like, show you like, the way. Um, who were some of your mentors when you got started?
Oh, wow. Probably I didn't have many high school teachers that I really, connected with. It wasn't until I got to community college, I would say my general biology teacher. Um, she was amazing. Also, my microbiology professor. And
Oh,
then, of course, my MESA director. So, a few biology professors, which is probably why I became a biology major. I had the best female mentors, leaders to look up to.
Hmm.
And my MESA director, he helped me with, so many extra activities. He helped me navigate my first internship and just
Wow.
his support. And Mesa is for first generation college students, so
Hmm.
he was there as a support network. He had like an open office door style, and I just went and talked to him whenever I could. And to this day, we're still in touch. We've been in touch for the last 20
That's
years.
that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think one of the biggest things that when it comes to like going to like was this field like completely new to you?
Oh yes, yes. I'm the only one in my family who's gone to college, and no one else in my family is in the medical field. I navigated everything on my own.
Wow. That is truly inspiring.
It was and really in community college. There's just so many resources in community college, so it's really just you got to go find them.
Hmm.
But there's Mesa programs. There's student success centers. Just talking to your academic college counselors. I really used the resources wherever I could, and whenever there was extracurricular activities, like maybe a career talk or come meet this scientist for a lunch and learn. I always took advantage of, free events or just going out to learn, informational meetings.
Hmm.
I was quite proactive in my my younger college years. I went to college for 13 years, so in the
Yeah,
beginning I
I
was
was
very
following
active.
sorry. Yeah,
No,
sorry I
no worries.
interrupted.
I always had a full-time schedule and I always typically had maybe like 3 to 4 part-time jobs as well, just to, make sure you can pay the bills and live while also taking classes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things like that you don't really I mean, I'd also be a first generation college student. Uh
Yeah.
so I think that's a very exciting thing. That's why I resonate with that. And I think there's this sense of like you don't have anyone in the field and sometimes you could feel alone. And I remember I felt alone for a long time. I was like, "Ah, who do I reach out to?" Like, I mean, my teachers are like great, but they're not really in the field. And it wasn't later on, just like you, that I also like looked out for opportunities, have that opportunity to just learn from them. Um, and now, well, University Lab Partners. So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about University Lab Partners and what you do there?
Yeah, let me tell you about ULP. So University Lab Partners is a what we call a wet lab medtech incubator. So an incubator is an open facility in which we incubate or provide a facility for startup companies. Often, these startup companies was originally based in that we are behind UC Irvine, and there's a lot of scientists, graduate students who want to take their innovations off of the university campus and launch their own company instead of their intellectual property being sold off to the university. Um, they want to own their own scientific property, patent their own work. And so we provide a facility for scientists to do that. These startup companies can be brand new, maybe just one founder with the idea. So that's the incubator side. The
Hmm.
second pillar of this business is the accelerator. So now maybe your startup company is doing great, you're gathering your funding, you've got some preliminary studies going, and it's really promising. So now you're trying to expand. So the second pillar would be the accelerator portion. And we have lots of support staff here that can help you accelerate and hopefully graduate from the incubator so that you can get your own building, because we only host smaller companies, and that's a good thing if you move out because that
Uh-huh.
means your business is doing well. So the third pillar of our business is the education side, and we also call that the workforce development team. So that's where I come in. I am the education specialist as in the workforce development department, And really, as an incubator, since we have $5 million of scientific equipment available in
Oh,
the lab, it's very underutilized. Biomedical equipment do not like to sit on benches underused. They like to be operated on a on at least a weekly basis. So it's really benefits both parties that I use the equipment weekly, and allows me to have educational courses so that I can bring in young innovators who really want to learn how to operate this equipment. A lot of this equipment, if you are able to say on your resume that you can perform these experiments, operate this, very common machinery that you'll find in any biotech lab setting, it's really going to set you apart when you're applying for your first position. Um, there's so much competition of just getting your first STEM related role, whatever
mhm.
that may be, if it's paid or voluntary. There's so much competition there. So we really just want to help students get to whatever it is they want to be. Maybe that's working in a lab, or maybe getting an internship, um, and helping them navigate all the different opportunities out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I also wanted to add how earlier on during your time in UC Davis and even at
CRC.
CRC, I just want to say like how, molecular biology and microbiology has now played a huge role into that transition to, the program of education, that third pillar that you were mentioning at University Lab Partners, and how you are preparing the next workforce. How has your, near decade of experience how has it prepared you like um in helping out the next generation of like students?
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let me see how I when you phrase it like that, I immediately think of um, obviously as a PhD scientist, we love we just love learning. And so ever since I started in like in the microbiology field, that was my first laboratory experience. I was always, really interested in learning whatever very specific research topic I was studying at that moment. It was always interesting to me, but it's really difficult to navigate, how to get a role in a scientific lab, the different positions that are even available in the lab. Like, what is eligible to you, at the high school level? Or, do you need a bachelor's degree to do this certain activity? Do you need is a master's sufficient to do what it is you want to do? I did not know these at the time. I really thought, I had to get a PhD in biology. um, it wasn't until afterwards I realized, to do what it is that I want to do, just work in really work in a laboratory setting. I don't need to have a PhD. You really just need a master's degree to do most um, work as a scientist. I mean, a bachelor's degree is really plenty if you want to focus on experiments, but I say I didn't learn this until after, and I don't think there's a lot of knowledge about or exposure to the career opportunities that are available after. Um,
Gotcha.
Even though these start to get touched upon, I would like to integrate for my students more, um, career talks from positions you may have never heard of. I mean, things like a medical science liaison. I'm not sure how many um, students have heard of like just the different how do you want to say it, like, just there's so many different things you can do to help the medical field besides being a doctor, and there's so
Gotcha.
many things you can do in a research lab besides just being the lead principal scientist.
Oh, I see.
um, and so it took me many years to learn that.
Hmm.
um, I'm like, I want to say like mid-career now, and I'm really just beginning my education side. Um, so I think I've derailed from what your question originally
No, no,
was.
no, that's fantastic. You're covering a
But
lot of points that are just, yeah, I love them.
I stay in the field because I really like to learn, and I hope to just, you know, maybe cut the time in half for my students that they don't navigate all these different, take the long journey to where you eventually want to be. Like if you know you want to do a specific type of research in a lab, and I want to help you find the direct path to get there instead of taking the 10-year path like I did, as well as my director. We have a very similar background.
Gotcha, gotcha. I think,
Add 5 more mills to the cells.
what was that?
Sorry, we're doing an experiment. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. No, you're good. I I wanted to ask because like sometimes we as like high school students we're like, okay, if we don't get into an Ivy League, we're not gonna go anywhere in our lives. Or if we don't land a UC, we're not going anywhere. We downplay ourselves and like what we've like worked hard to do. Um, and sometimes like we emphasize like the acceptance of a school so much um that we forget. We kind of get blindsided in terms of you know, there's like I wanted to like clarify this, right? Because out of college, like some people do go into community and then they go to UCs, correct?
Yes. Yep, that's what I did.
How has how did that help you out? Like you're right out of high school. Like were your plans to go to a UC immediately or were they to a community college and then transfer?
No, so I was not the star student like you are. So I'm confident
I'm not.
you can you're probably more prepared to go straight to a 4-year university. I myself was not at all ready. I did not feel like I was ready to like leave my nest, or I couldn't even picture myself moving out the house at 17 years old when I graduated high school. So
Yeah.
I really just, my community college was close by to home. And if I was planning on being a nurse, most of the nursing programs are done at the 2-year college level. So that was really my path. And I have absolutely no regrets with going through community college. I'm actually majorly advocate for it now, in that, now they have the California Promise program. That's amazing. I did not have the opportunity when I went to school. I am still in some student debt because those that went to school back then, we were told, take out student loans to go to school. So I still have my student loans. Um, so it's still a great option for especially to have your first 2 years of college completely paid for. Now, I when it comes to college, you shouldn't always think about money. It's important, but there's other things to consider. The true number one reason why I really enjoyed my community college experience is because of the smaller class sizes. I was always in science classes, and to have 30 students in a class to only one instructor over a semester long. I mean, over those 16 weeks, I developed a relationship with this professor. This
Wow.
professor knows me by name, by
Mhm.
face. They know personal stories about me. We spent a lot of time together. At a UC, for example, or a big university, most of them are on a quarter system. They're on a quarter system with at least 500 students in the class. You're lucky to see them once or twice a week for a 1 hour session. They are most
Wow.
likely not going to remember your face. Even if you email them several times, they maybe will start to pick up your name, but by the next semester, good luck. Like there's probably once every few years a student that comes along that like a professor will truly remember. But I feel like at a university, you're a number inside of a big room. Um, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. So in going to graduate school, I wasn't a great standardized test taker as well. So my GR we had to take a GRE back then.
Hmm.
So in order to get into graduate school, you have to take a big standardized test, just like medical school. You need to take an MCAT. But for the graduate school, you needed a GRE. My GRE scores were not great. My GPA was okay. My standardized test scores were meh. They were just meh.
Hmm.
So if someone was looking at that alone, I probably would not have gotten into graduate school. What I had was really good relationships with professors, and they could really speak on my passion for science, my passion for learning. I really went out for every opportunity that was out there. I was at their office hours. Like I tried very hard, and those students really stick out from the rest of the class. But I wouldn't have got close with my professors if I was at a university. I really only my community college professors. I'm still close with to this day. They wrote all my letters of rec. They are what got me into my PhD program.
Wow. I think building,
Okay.
yeah, that is
Community college has so many. I mean, it's literally the word community. It is there for
right.
you to feel like you're part of a community. There's so many resources for you. The
Hmm.
university is big, it's intimidating. You're learning to be an adult. I think there's just so much more support at the community
Right.
college level. And so, for those who want to go straight to university, I mean, spend your senior year planning, go visit that university, get used to, all the resources on campus. Get comfortable in the library, find your favorite desk to study at. I mean, all of college is just, really finding a desk to sit down and
Right.
focus.
Trying to find
Because
something.
we're told, oh, go study. But,
Hmm.
how do you study? In college, they don't really teach you how to study. And I think in high school, they assign homework. But in college, a lot of teachers don't assign homework. They just tell you
Mm.
this is when the day of the test is going to be. So you have to
Hmm.
be self-motivated and study on your own.
Right.
I think, community college prepares you a lot more for that. So no regrets. They prepared me very well. By the time I got to the university, I was like, oh, I got this. I know how to do this. More than like the freshmen at the university who really struggled to adapt to the new environment. So I had a much easier transition. I also moved to the university the summer before school started. So I got used to living in Davis for
Yeah.
3 months before school started. It's a bike city, so I had to learn to ride a bike again.
What?
Yeah, it's a very bicycle city. Nobody rides their car around campus.
Yeah. It's a very student like it's a student like town pretty much from what
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah. I'm maybe going to a NorCal trip for the summer and UC Davis is on that list, so we'll see how it goes.
You got to, yes. UDavis is such a fun campus. If you can reach out for the, campus-led tours as well. And
Oh,
they can
that's it.
get you, yeah, they have those available. Just say like I'm an interested like student. I wanted to tour. Yeah, look up the tour campus tours. It's available to the public.
All right.
So,
I'll
and
I'll
then
have
they'll
to
know
check it
you're
out.
coming and you can, I mean, it's fun to walk around the campus, but that campus is huge. Maybe they'll get
Really?
a golf cart and like tour you around to the cool spots.
That'd be pretty cool.
And then
Well,
you can message me again when you go because I'll tell you all the spots
gotta check
you
out.
have to visit. There's like the
Gotcha.
cow with the glass stomach. You got to visit the vet school, the arboretum, the student center downtown. Yeah. So
Gotta try
I could
some
talk about.
local produce.
Oh
I
yes.
want to do that.
Oh, I remember the days. I think there's two per week. Davis has a really nice farmers market. I think they're
Right? I mean,
Wednesday
they grow it
nights.
themselves.
Oh
It's
yeah.
right there.
Oh yeah. And I don't know if you're old enough for wine tasting, but they also grow avocados. Maybe you can do the avocado tasting.
Avocado tasting. All
Or
right,
the
we'll do
cheeses. Yeah, cheeses as well. They do a big
cheeses.
wine and cheese event, so you can taste their cheeses grown by the engineers there, engineering the best cheese.
Engineering the best
UC
cheese. All
Riverside
right.
does the avocado tasting, huh? Don't forget about UC Riverside as well. I got my
Yes.
PhD there, and they have a medical school. So there, if you're interested in, getting more connected with the medical side, they have a lot of resources there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, this
Yay!
trip is going to be it's held by this program that I'm in with UCI, and they pretty much like take us on a bus. I think they shuttle us first to head first to Berkeley and then Davis, and then we come back down. Oh no, we go to Santa Cruz and then
Mm.
Berkeley, Davis, and then back down to Merced, and then we go back home.
I visited Santa Cruz as well, and I really wanted to go there. Oh, that place is. Have you been there yet?
I haven't been there yet, but I love the beach. I love the coast.
Oh man, it's like a forest when you're there. It's so cool. I would have loved to live there. And then you got to look for some banana slugs.
Ooh,
That's their
banana
mascot.
slugs. Oh
That's
yes,
and you
that is
will
their
find them
mascot.
because
Oh,
it's a
okay.
very like damp forest, and so
Uh-huh.
you'll find the big banana slugs. Like you'll find them everywhere. It's
All
really
right.
cool.
I'll definitely keep that in mind.
I love all
Yep.
the UCs. I've also visited them all.
Wow.
We're
I mean,
biased, but
there's like, oh yeah, definitely. I want to stay in California.
yeah, definitely. Why
I love the
not?
weather. I love, being close to home, but I don't know. The future is, the journey. You could say I want to go this way, but like, sometimes there's a new opportunity going this way.
Yeah,
But
definitely. I mean, we're California biased, but don't forget about the other out of state programs. Still,
right.
check out the ones that gravitate to you. If there's a professor you really find their research interesting, I mean, you can think of like working in their lab during your like junior and senior year of college. So, also consider the research professors. If Samantha
Gotcha.
was here, she would tell you, like, remember, don't forget about the class sizes. She went
Yeah.
to the largest university in the United States, and
That
we
is
the Ohio State University.
Ohio. Is that big?
Yes, and so your chemistry lecture will be filled with like 600 students. It's not my
Wow.
favorite way to learn chemistry. So,
No. The
um,
study groups must be large though.
oh, that's yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, the study group.
Yeah, the study groups must be large too.
Yeah, their university kids are also more competitive, so
Mm.
they might not even let you in their study group. But
Like a fraternity.
no, not everyone's like that though. You'll find some, but you'll also find more competitive ones. Right,
Gotcha.
Rose? Some people don't even let you in your study group. I mean, I wasn't like that. If you want to come study.
Okay. As long as you get
But
me
then they'll come.
Starbucks, right?
Yeah, you can start to be selective of, who you want in your study group. Some people are there to distract or maybe just steal your notes because they know you take the best notes in class. It's fine. That's up to you. Might
Right.
not understand your notes
It'd be like
anyways.
$20 notes.
Hey,
Need to pay off the student
Scantron day.
loans.
You have to bring your own
Gas
Scantrons to
prices.
class. Sometimes someone doesn't bring a Scantron. You could sell it
Scantron.
for $1. Yeah,
What is a
like
Scantron?
just if it's a multiple choice test,
Hmm.
and you just fill out A, B, C, or D. It's not like at high school where they provide you the papers. Sometimes you literally need to bring in the piece of paper to take your test, because it's
What?
multiple choice, and the professor will just feed it through an automatic grader, and so you
Hmm.
need to use they call it a scantron to fill in your multiple choice answers. Kind of like your
Gotcha.
standardized test day. So you have to bring that with you, and there's always someone in class who forgot one.
Oh,
So
there's that
always have
one
extras with
kid.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you'll get to know the bookstore very well in college. It's not just for your books, it's for everything. Sometimes you just need the form to go take your test.
Okay.
So, are there
Gotcha.
any more questions for our life story?
Um, I think the last question will be, and thank you so much for bearing with me.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry we're distracted over here with the
No,
experiment,
you're
but
you're good. You're good. As long as you don't mix up the wrong compound, you're good.
I trust Rose got it.
She's got it. She's got it. All right. What advice would you give to students who are unsure about their future and career path?
Oh man. Don't even worry about it. You're so young. I and it's funny because looking back now that I'm working with at the high school age group, and it's rather new for me. I've really only started working with high school students for the last year. I previously worked with much older, like senior scientists, um, and it's there's a lot of different cultures involved when you work um, in any really setting, in any team setting, in the business world, in the science world. There's so many cultures involved, and we have to work in teams. Um, there's so many group activities we do in high school, and I'm so impressed by how high school students get along together so well. And it's really hard to believe how much adults don't get along together.
Really, I thought it was the other way around.
Exactly. And I don't think students realize this, but really you guys do such a great job working in teams. I learn from just watching you guys interact in group discussions because you should see adults in a business meeting. It doesn't go well. We argue. We we it's not a lot of respect, and especially in just being aware of other people's cultures.
Hmm.
I found that a lot in the science community because you'll find scientists from other countries, and you'll have to learn how to share a break room with other cultures. Um, some some don't show the best respect, but that may not be how you perceive that culture. It's really interesting. So, um, largely what I was getting at is that working in groups is super important. These soft skills, we always talk about these soft skills, and I don't think students realize like everything they're doing is is what's the word, like it should be to improve your soft skills. You may not notice when I'm like telling you need to write down things in your lab notebook or put this on your calendar, but um, it's small technical skills that are difficult to teach.
Gotcha.
The other part I would say, like when I was in high school, I didn't have a lot of passion outside of school. So if I could go back and like tell my younger self in high school, like I wish I enjoyed that time more.
Hmm.
I was always in like a hurry to grow up. I thought I knew everything at the like when I was graduating high school too. I was like, I'm 17, almost 18. I'm an adult. I know, like I don't. I was very stubborn. I didn't think I needed too many other things, but it's like the more you learn, the less you know.
Right. Yeah.
So the more I studied in college, it really humbled me the more I learned. Um, and I just wish I would have took more advantage of my youth. Maybe I was very academically strong, always doing different academic activities. But like I played soccer when I was younger, but then I didn't really continue that in high school because I thought I needed to focus more on biology.
Gotcha.
So keeping your other extracurriculars, I think, is important. Um, Maybe not too many. You also need to choose. You can't do everything because
Right.
time management's important as
Totally.
well. Um, and just do more informational meetings. And I mean, Jose, you're already doing awesome. You do so much like outreach. So
Thank
I
you.
don't have to tell you, but you can tell your peers,
Yeah, I definitely will. We're at the
just
one
like
minute
more,
mark,
yeah, more
just so we know.
informational meetings. Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's gonna cut you off. So you just
Yeah.
message me in the
It's
portal if
because
you have
I'm
anything.
yeah. Well, Tasha, just want to tell you, thank you so much for spending
I'm
this,
sure you guys still here.
time and just, hey, it's her. Alrighty. Well, hey everyone. Thank you all for joining us. This is our first episode, and just want to say thank you all for joining us. Dr. Tasha Barr, thank you so much.
Thank you. If you have any more questions, you reach out.